Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest two-way propaganda. Y'all probably heard about ATF Director Stevie Dittlebritches resigning at the end of last week, I imagine. Well, if you didn't, you have now. Dittlebritches tendered his resignation and will step down officially the Friday before President Trump is sworn in.
Serendipitous.
A lot of folks have been pontificating on who Trump should appoint as permanent director. And as much as I'd love to watch that gorgeous mother lover decimate the Fed boys, everybody knows Brandon Herrera doesn't stand a chance in hell of making it through Senate confirmation, nor would anybody Trump appoints. So I submit that Trump should find the most boring, by-the-book bureaucrat to serve as the acting director, someone who will do only what Congress strictly requires the ATF to do.
You tossers! You had one job to do!
Meanwhile, he should intentionally make an absolute circus of the confirmation process. Yes, absolutely. Nominate Brandon Herrera and Ted Nugent and Michael Cargill and Tim Harmson and Matt LaRosiere of Washington Gun Law. Make the most intentionally politicized appointments and use the hearings to talk about why gun rights are important.
Or you will suffer dire consequences.
Imagine how much of an impact a guy like Colion Noir could have when he's not trying to actually get confirmed, but he's just trying to rhetorically wreck control freak politicrators. Hell, for that matter, nominate Hunter Biden and sit back and watch the fireworks.
Spy lucky crackbag.
But it would be impossible for us to produce quality two-way propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by 1776 Insurance. Most homeowners insurance policies only cover up to $2,500 for firearms. Now, I don't know about you, but I've got more than that in just optics. 1776 gives you comprehensive coverage against breakage, theft, fire, and burglary for all your guns, and you don't have to give them your serial numbers. Bless her heart, that kooky hot chick from Colorado, Lauren Boebert, just sponsored a bill to abolish the ATF. This is one of those things that has no chance of ever getting out of committee, let alone passing a vote, but it does start conversations, and it shifts the Overton window. That's something, I guess. If it grows legs, we'll let you know, but the ATF really should be disbanded. Not only is it grossly unconstitutional to restrict firearms, they are dangerously incompetent and corrupt. They are, in the strictest sense of the word, a terrorist organization.
You can't use that word. Only we can use that word.
According to Wikipedia, a terrorism is the use of violence against non-combatants to achieve political or ideological aims. The ATF routinely uses violence beyond the scope of its mission to dissuade and discourage American citizens from owning the arms they are constitutionally entitled to. They intentionally choose the most aggressive possible tactics in a calculated attempt to terrify their fellow Americans. Like how they terrorized Mark Choppa's family right after Christmas. As is their custom, the ATF busted in his doors at 5 a.m. and chucked 2 flashbangs, hoping they would get to shoot somebody.
That's the job I signed up for.
Fortunately for Mark Choppa's family, they were not successful in provoking a gunfight. They were also unsuccessful in finding anything illegal. They made no arrests, they issued no charges, and they seized no property. The ATF is being typically secretive about their activities, of course, but it seems they used a confidential informant to get the warrant. It is becoming increasingly obvious that confidential informant is really just police speak for, we made it up.
Gentlemen, we need to find that source.
I mean, you wouldn't take some rando basehead's word that a local diner has good chorizo and eggs, so any judges who sign warrants based on an affidavit from a CI are either incredibly stupid and gullible, or they know damn well they're just rubber stamping everything the cops give them. Which is painfully illustrated by the fact that ATF couldn't find anything to pin on Mark Choppa. The dude says he's got over 70 guns and the ATF wasn't able to find anything wrong with any of them. And my collection isn't nearly that impressive, and I'd be surprised if the ATF wasn't able to find some sort of obscure violation. They probably wouldn't like the milk crate full of Wish Auto Sears and Temu silencers in my garage either. And although they did not steal his personal property or lock him up, the ATF did destroy a lot of Mark Choppa's stuff. They will probably reimburse him for the doors eventually, but good luck with all the other stuff that gets ruined in a home invasion like this. So if you'd like to help Mark Choppa's family, please click the GoFundMe down there in the doobly-doo and give generously. Despite multiple court rulings against the feds over the last few years in regard to guns and wacky tobacco, the feds keep charging people with 922G3 if they get caught with guns and pot needles. The feds lost another one just last week, but the devil's lettuce in question this time wasn't just a half of a forgotten joint in an ashtray from days earlier. It was 2 big-ass bags of weed that El Paso cops found when they responded to a call about a fight. Weed is not legal in Texas, recreationally or medically or whatever. But it is legal in New Mexico, which is within spitting distance of El Paso, and the perpetrator had a medical card in that state. Now, what's interesting here is this happened back in 2021, and he pleaded guilty to having a gun while using jazz cabbage, but the locals didn't charge him with anything else. Then, after the Bruin decision dropped, he appealed his conviction in February of 2023. The court allowed him to reverse his plea and found the statute to be unconstitutional as applied to him just last week, and now we are back where we were with all the other cases because, so far as I can remember, all of them have been as applied, just like this last one.
Exactly! What does that mean?
Now, I'm not here to judge, but if you indulge in left-handed cigarettes, whether it's legal or not in your state, remember, it is still illegal at the federal level. They still consider it to be more dangerous than cocaine and meth. Yes, I know they said they were going to reschedule it back in August. They have not. If you own guns, please don't get caught with weed. Even if they ever do get around to rescheduling it, who knows what the lawyers will decide as that relates to gun owners, so I just wouldn't risk it. Feel free to tell me how I'm a pussy and a bootlicker and all of that stuff down below, but I would recommend that you not mix the two. Nobody ever accused the control freaks of being masterminds. Their tactics are boring, predictable, and insufferable. And they're losing too. The only reason they got where they did is just pure laziness.
There goes our whole strategy.
My parents' generation simply didn't care about gun rights, so now we gotta fix their mess. So the police state enthusiasts never really had to be bright to get their way, but this is embarrassing even for them. Noel Frame, the Senate deputy floor leader, accidentally emailed their whole playbook to every member of the Senate. Their master plan isn't exactly rocket surgery. They want to impose an 11% tax on guns and ammo, and she included a handy little PowerPoint with first-day level public speaking tips on how to frame discussions about taxes with constituents.
Well, isn't that special?
And now, for your moment of zen.
You know, as a military veteran, I don't really think civilians should own high firepower. You know, military.
I'm really glad it's not up to you.
Your bag is being a soy boy beta cuck.
That's it. Hey friend, do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure American pew bargain at the low price? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.